if you're still confused about why I'm right and the system is wrong and everyone else is wrong for playing stupid, think about it this way. They exploit people for their labor, for their sex. They know that the process is going to cause them to go into a state of denial. Okay, they don't want to clarify everything, come out as colleges, come out as government groups. They don't want to clarify everything. So they just kind of give you a little hint here, a little hint there to make you think that they know how you feel along the way. Who you sleep with in high school, who you sleep with in college, who you end up being married to. You have kids, they use those kids to coerce you. They say, hey, we're going to take your kids away. Okay? Psyche and Eros is about assimilating people into the culture using rape by deception, trickery, misdirection, subtle coercion, peer pressure. They're exploiting people every step of the way. Take the average attractive minority chick from another country. She comes here, second generation, we'll say. Okay, so she's born here. She's confused, she's different, and she thinks it's a democracy to some degree all throughout grade school, all throughout junior high. She says there's a lot of corruption, a lot of corrupt politicians, but she thinks maybe I can convince them somewhere along the way. She's dating, she loses her virginity, she kind of feels bad, maybe she gets raped at a party, boom, boom, boom. This is all expected in their cultural model. And they're reinforcing their cultural values and the pre-existing orders which believe in psyche and eros. A lot of them are in Greek societies or were in Greek societies in college. They're reinforcing the psyche and eros model. Psyche meaning mind, eros for erotic desire. Okay? Incidentally, 67% of people are said to be white. Something around 80% or so are white or white Hispanic. Women are said to outnumber men. So they already have most of the women in the country. They're settled here. These aren't pirates and colonists just touching down without women. They have women. Women outnumber them. But they still insist on their system, knowing their women are more inclined to date them no matter what system they're in, to force you to believe that it's a democracy that is a valid democracy, that your vote actually counts, that you can come together and reason with people in college, get a degree and say, hey, I'm going to reason with people. And then you find out later in life, hey, guess what? You can't. Because we're fucking scum. That's what they're telling you. You can't reason with them. This brain surgeon son who gave away millions of dollars in free service to the community, his son can't be the top martial artist because we're white racists, and only token minorities and white racists can be seen the top martial artists. And if they get too big for the britches, they just happen to die like Bruce Lee and his son. It's a coincidence. No one knows why. With a Jack Nicholson in that Tom Cruise movie, A Few Good Men or whatever it was, say no one knows why. No one knows why that is. And then fume him and drug him. Change his shape. Make him seem like a crazy buck-dancing, black-faced, quote-unquote racist term for a black person. That's the process. The pros sees how they see it. It's insane. They said 1 in 5 women are raped in college. I say it's more than that. When you factor in rape by deception, every female who has sex in college is basically raped. Because it's in that psyche eros system. Psychology is what brought them to that conclusion. Psychology is deception. Wake up. That's why psychology is named after psyche. Psyche means mind. It means soul. They take your soul by tricking your mind with psychology. Eros is erotic desire instead of choosing love from justice and righteousness in that one life to live. How many of you really believe in your hearts that if people thought straight like I do, they thought clearly, they trained discipline and righteousness and justice and not conformity to an allowed culture, they would choose psychology and erotic desire instead of doing the right thing in their one short life to live? But they're convinced every step of the way that they can go into social sciences or go into political science or go be a doctor and make a positive change. But it's a rape construct. It's a psyche and eros rape construct. The people who enforce it are not the son of 2 doctors, 2 valid doctors, 2 true and honest doctors, and the top martial artist, I am. The people who enforce it aren't telling you the truth, I am. Your churches, your martial arts schools, they're not the way, the truth, and the life, I am. This is the right way to do it. This is the right response to it. To carry your cross. 37% of Americans are said to go to church. And none of them, I don't go to church, not a single one of them, knows exactly how to carry their cross. You can't cheat me out of my right to lead and be right with God. Pay the worker their wages. The wages of sin is death, and it is a sin to cheat the king out of his right to lead, and the throne is established through righteousness, not through white privilege, not through token minority privilege, not through the gynocracy and pussy power, through righteousness and moral precision. We all know what it is, and they're tricking you about what to do. When you operate in terms of how things function, how things work, you are a fool reinforcing the psyche, eros, rape by deception, immoral order. That's unrighteousness, that's wickedness, that's deception. The devil is the great deceiver. The snake, the ancient serpent, your penis is called Mr. Snaky. It's a phallic symbol. Moses took his staff, which is also a phallic symbol, threw it on the ground, it became a snake. So did the Egyptian sorcerers. These are metaphors for snaking motherfuckers. Who can snake who better? The Bible is Bible, but you guys aren't ready to have that discussion. What you are ready to know is what I just said. Your children, you and your children are being tricked every generation. And when these colonists build their families, their family structures, their family lines, their family trees, from the tree of Mr. Snaky, Mr. Rape Psyche, Mr. Coerce Psyche, Mr. Say, hey, you got to survive. We're going to put you in the psych ward and put you on psych meds if you don't do it Mr. Snaky's way, because then you'll go homeless and your mental illness doesn't allow you to survive. Don't you see? You people are fucking insane. I'm going to carry my cross as the top martial artist. Even if I was the weakest pussy on the planet, I would still carry my cross. Because you people are fucking sick. I don't want to be part of your team or your culture or your country. You people are fucking rape cult insane. You have no humanity, no dignity, no self-respect, no care for your kids. And instead of doing the right thing, you all team up and change my shape and fume me and pretend like psyops don't exist, to pretend like you're not trying to control the motives, the thoughts, and the behaviors, even though it's right there in your Wikipedia article, the most read psyop article in terms of what psychological operations are about. That's what they're about. If we asked the army, we brought them on stage, what are your psychological operations about? They'd have to say there's something similar, because there's no other way to look at it. It's about keeping someone like me from telling the truth about your psyche, eros, psychology, psychiatry, bitch, therapist, the rapist. It's a coincidence, right? Occult cut-ups don't exist. Wordplay doesn't exist. Masonic wordplay, word, play, coincidence. Together, to get her, coincidence. And if you think it's not, take your meds. That's their oppressor, bitch. That's the generations of raping people with the same spirit speaking to people like me saying, take your meds. That's that cowardly nerd craftsman bitch with no heart, none.